Hey everybody, welcome to my suburban oasis. My name is Soleil and I garden in a zone 6A in mid-Michigan, and it's been a little while. I have been super busy with family things, and so just haven't been able to get out in the garden very much and have not been able to do any videos, so sorry about that. Hopefully you guys are still out there and interested in watching some videos, and today we've got a good one for you. It's always fun when it comes to fall time because fall time means that we get to do some planting, and I'm really excited about doing it today. We're going to be planting a remote woodland fern out in the way back. We're going to be planting the umbrella pine out here in the front, as well as our other dwarf Niagara Falls pine. So I'm super excited about adding additional evergreen interest to the garden before we hit winter, as well as adding to the way back garden. Now, before we get started, I do want to show you this little area of the front garden because it's looking especially nice right now. I think this is just so beautiful right now. This is just a very autumnal scene. If you ask me, there are some gorgeous colors right now just contrasting with each other. We've got the orange barberry and the orange mums, and the orange barberry are really a nice, deep, rich color right now as opposed to being orange. And then we're really getting some color on our oak leaf hydrangea, and it just makes a beautiful scene when you also see the gorgeous purple mums along with some of that really beautiful dried hydrangea bloom. Those are the bobo hydrangeas that are under that dwarf cherry tree there. Okay, well, let's take a look at what we're going to work with. I think we'll plant the umbrella pine first, so let's go take a look at that. Well, we have Mr. Skeleton here guarding the umbrella pine, and it is a really cute little dwarf pine. This is the Picolo variety, and it's really beautiful. I love the pine needles on it. It's a very deep, rich green, and it is called a Japanese umbrella pine. So this one is just hardy down to zone 5. Being zone 6A, we should be fine with this one going in the ground. And our first frost dates are usually around mid-October, so we haven't hit frost dates, and it's okay to plant things until the ground freezes, but with evergreens it's good to get them in early, so that's why I'm focusing on those today. So let's take this one out to the front garden bed and show you where we're going to plant it. We're going to just go right around the front side here. And I think this is going to be a really beautiful, rich evergreen look for here. What I want to do is take out these alliums that we have planted right now and replace them with the umbrella pine. And I think this is going to be a really great texture in this garden, as opposed to that upright growing habit that we have for both the sedum as well as that allium, because that allium also is a perennial and will die back every year. So we're going to have to dig that out, as well as a couple of the coneflowers, which I'd like to just kind of move over if I can to make room for the pine. But the pine is rather small, so we should do just fine. And I think it's going to look great here. So let's get going. All right, guys, as we get started, I do want to show you that I am using some Wells Lamont gloves. These aren't sponsored or anything. I just love these. They are, you can also get them from Hydra Hide, and they are insulated and they have rubber all the way up to the knuckles. So on days like today where it's been like really cold overnight, like I think it got down to 42, it's in the 40s right now, and you get dew all over everything and everything's wet, or even if it's been raining, these are great to have. They just keep your hands nice and warm and dry. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you. I love sharing good tools with you to help make your gardening experience even that much better. Now, always when I'm planting, I want to try and leave behind as much of the garden soil as I can. Sometimes it's not possible depending on what you're planting. And it's been pretty dry. We did get a little bit of rain, but not a ton. So we're definitely going to have to water in after this. Today's only supposed to be a high of 70, and it's supposed to be nice and sunny. So I'm trying to get things planted while it's early in the day. Now I'm just going to take out the echinacea as well. These are a powwow pink echinacea. See a violet in there. We'll get rid of that. And I might replant those over there. Also see a baby walnut tree here. Okay, we've got the alliums out. I've got these echinaceas sitting over here. I've got one more echinacea that I need to dig out. And then I think we're ready to plant our umbrella pine. Now this umbrella pine will get to be pretty large eventually. That's the thing. Dwarf just really means that they're probably small when you buy them, and they're going to grow really at a slow rate. So this will only grow, a few inches a year, something like that. So I want to plant it far enough back where it has room out in front of it to grow, but not so far back that I dig up all of my Schubertii. And again, it's going to take a long time for this to get to be a full-size plant. Wow, the soil is really quite dry right now. All right, that should do it, I think. Wow, these are gorgeous roots. Beautiful, nice, fine white roots. Super healthy plant. I'm so glad about that. Hopefully it doesn't mind my clay soil too much. Oops. All right, let's fill in around it now. I'm just going to break up these clods of clay. Now I do have some mulch, but we're not going to probably get to that today. Today I just want to get these plants in the ground. This doesn't look like it's quite in the center, you guys. Oh, I'm gonna have to move it over a little bit. At least it should be easy. There we go. I think that's better. All right, time to water her in. Well, here we are on the blue corner, which looks oh so pretty right now with some of that dew on it. I mean, just look at the color on those grasses. Holy moly. Next year, that's going to be even better as they fill in and get thicker, and you have that kind of translucent effect to the plants behind them. Well, here is the Niagara Falls dwarf pine that is a white pine that we planted before. And I've been trying to replace things in this garden border to be things that provide more winter interest as well as deer resistance. So we have this beautiful Fothergilla back here that we planted last year. This should give us some fall color soon. But then we have these hostas that have been eaten. Now, this white pine that is a dwarf should get to be probably about 4 to 6 feet wide eventually, but it only grows a few inches every single year. So what I want to do is dig out this hosta that's right here and where some of these geraniums are, and really use it to help fill in over here so that these two can provide a really lovely more mass effect and give that different color and different foliage texture in this area. So first we've got to dig out this hosta and some of the geranium, and we will then put it in. All right, let's get started. And when I do these kind of projects, I almost always get asked what I'm doing with some of the plants that are being taken out and hoping that they go to a good home. And I'm just going to share with y'all that around here we have so many deer that people don't even really want them. Oh, I think I have a stepping stone that's been covered up by this hosta for some time here. Let's see what we can do. Where is it? Gonna have to dig that out first. Here we go. Wow, this hosta grew right up over it. That's impressive. Now I would love to be able to just put the Niagara pine in the root ball hole from this hosta, but I think I want to move it over just slightly. We'll see what the hole looks like after I get this hosta out, because this was a big one before they ate all of the leaves off of it. It's going to be a pretty big root ball. I have given a ton of these away to some of my friends and families who were interested, but at this point I often get no takers, so we're not going to do anything with this one because it also looks really ugly, so people shy away from it. All right. This is one big mamma jamma. All right, I'm not sure exactly what size the root ball is on the Niagara pine. So I'm gonna go grab it so we can pull it out of its container and see. So here it is. I'm hoping the root ball is not as big as this container. I might have to make it smaller if it is, because I don't know if I'm prepared to dig that big of a hole today. All right, let's see what we can do. It probably will have filled this whole thing out. Oh, not bad. I think I can knock off a couple inches of soil on the bottom, which will be nice to have those roots free to kind of spread out in the hole. Looking pretty healthy. All right. We have lots of needle casts going on the inside of this right now. Probably wasn't totally happy to be in that container for so long, and it got really dry for a while. We'll get some of that out. But the important part is the roots look good. I just need to move the soil. And I think we're pretty good. We might have to go down a couple more inches. We'll see here. Let's test it out. I don't want to plant it too deep. Let's see. You also always have that kind of question of which way is the front way. I'm going to dig out just a little bit more. Especially around the edges where I think that I didn't get quite deep enough. Yeah, I think that's better. All right, filling in. I planted this probably about an inch high, half inch high, because it should sink a little bit, and I also want to make sure it has really good drainage. Evergreens definitely need that. And then we are going to get this watered in. This soil actually is a little bit more moist back here This bed has been here for, oh gosh, 20 years. So the soil has been improved every single year that I put more mulch on it, as opposed to that front garden bed, which was very dry, because the center of that garden bed has only been around for probably 4 years, maybe 3 years. So it still really needs to continue to improve itself over the long haul with the mulch and the organic matter that I add every year. Well, that should do it. Let's take a look at how this looks, and then we'll get planting our woodland fern. Well, we now have one less hosta with eaten leaves on it that looks like sticks, so I think we are in business. Isn't this gorgeous? Let's take a look at it from over here as well. Yes, I do believe this corner is looking much better. I love the contrast of the golden edger hostas in the front, or gold edger hostas in the front, in contrast with some of the other foliage. I do plan to keep those. The deer don't like them that much, and I do like having an edger around the front. So, wow, this looks a lot better. Okay, let's head to the way back and plant our fern. Okay, we have made it to the way back, and this is our remote woodland fern, which did amazing out in the front. So hopefully I can get some more of these from Cottage Garden next year, because I will love to put those along the front porch walkway. But they did great in dry shade, which is what this is back here. You can see things are a little wilty and not looking so great. The ground is dry, because we've only had a few rains in the last month, I would say. So I made sure to water this fern really, really well before I brought it back here. But I think I want to put it right up in here, by the Himalayan maidenhair fern. So that's what we have over here, which is so pretty. And I hope this one only continues to get better. So yeah, right about in here is where I'd like to put it, next to the Brunnera. Let's start digging. Now we have a stump of a tree that's like right down here. So let's see what we can do right about in here. Hopefully I won't run into too many roots, although I know there's lots of them back here. Roots and rocks. And hard soil, of course, as well. Luckily, I don't need too big of a hole. I'm trying really hard also to make it so that the soil does not run all the way down the hill as I dig, because I need it to fill in the hole afterwards. Not sure if I'm hitting rocks or roots. Probably both. I have a feeling this fern is going to be a little bit root bound. Because it's been in a very small pot for a few months. All right, let's see what we can do with this hole, because I don't feel like cutting through a huge root right now. Don't know if it's deep enough, so I'm going to try to pull some of the bottom. Actually, I think I'll cut some of the bottom off, the roots off, to make this work, because I also feel the bottom of the plastic container in there where the roots have grown around it. Yep, that's good. It's nice and level with the top side of the hill here. Oh, I'm so excited to have another fern back here. Fantastic. I think we'll have less weeds in this area now as well. Like, just more opportunity for it to look like a woodland garden, which is exactly what I'm going for back here. Well guys, as you know, my rule of thumb for ending a video is my glasses are fogging up, which means I've been working pretty hard. So thanks so much for joining me in the garden today. I do appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.